Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and today we'll be talking about spear tier list. So I'll be ranking it based on if it's gonna be BIS or it's gonna be like A, B, C, or D tier. And all the spear in the game right now is pretty much all the Telandria spear that I'm gonna be using, and there will be one Archbow spear, which is the Belandir one. And today I'll be ranking it based on how good the spear is if it's good or not for Gladiator or for Shadow Dancer. Alright, let's get to it. So first let's talk about the Fear Spear, or should we say the Spear of Unhinged Horror. Alright, so for Spear of Unhinged Horror, it has a decent attack speed base, which is still lower than the Belandir, and it has 11 strength, critical hit for 170, and the free chance of 237. I would say the reason why free chance is kind of worth for this build was because the passive that it got, if enemy has enough fear resist, it's not gonna fear the enemy that's within the radius. But then yeah, this spear has a decent amount of critical hit and a decent amount of stat, but not the best. And it's easy to get to because it's cheap, and it's kind of hard to trigger the passive because you need to kill someone in order to trigger the passive. In an ideal GVG, it's kind of hard to kill someone, but I will place this spear around like B tier maybe. Reason being, it's kind of good, but like it's kind of mid basically. There's a reason why I put it at B. It still works for if you want to start like a early build. It's a good filler spear, but aside from that, not really BIS, I would say. Even for Spear Dagger, there's better options. And for Gladiator, there's also a better option too for it. Alright, next spear is the Rhinoceros Spear. I would say this is the easiest spear to get in order if you want to build like Resist or Fortitude, because the stat that it gives 12 Fortitude. And other than this spear, for like a free-to-play, aside from Arch Boss and World Boss spear, this is the only spear that gives Fortitude. So if you want to build like a Walmart version of Fortitude spear, I would recommend this spear, and this is pretty much the only spear that you can go for. It has a high amount of Fortitude, decent amount of critical hit, and decent amount of cooldown speed too. And if you take a look at the trait, it also has attack speed, so it's not really that bad, but I wouldn't say it's the best too. In that case, I'll be putting it on B tier, lower than the Fury Spear though. I would say Fury Spear is better, just because the Rhinoceros Spear doesn't really give you any passive at all. But yeah. Alright, next is Pakilo Spear. So I would say I'll put this on BIS. Reason being is it's the best spear if you want to go Vanguard set, which is the meta right now. Vanguard set and Pakilo, you can reach like a high amount of Fortitude. You can reach the 60 Fortitude quite easy, and then it enables a lot of like resistance playstyle if you want to go for like 70 Fortitude with 5 pieces of Vanguard. So that's the reason why I put it on BIS. The other reason is because the Pakilo Spear has a low attack speed, and which means this spear has inherently quite fast attack speed, so you don't really need to build that many attack speed trait in order to make your spear works. And then after the low base attack speed, it also has like a attack speed trait, so you can increase your attack speed up to 8% more than what you already have. And then the CC resist, 250 CC resist is always good. It's easy to stack it up to 10 times because on how quick Spear's skills are. So I would say we can put Naru Spear as BIS pretty much. Except from Arch Boss, I would say this is the BIS Spear, except from Alright, let's go for the Crimson Spear. I will put Crimson Spear on A. Reason being I put Crimson in A is because it also has a low attack speed, which makes your attack speed inherently faster. It also has an attack speed passive, and it also has an attack speed trait. So basically you can go super quick attack speed with it. And then for Spear Dagger, I would say this is kind of BIS, aside from Arch Boss. You don't really want to go Pakilo Spear if you want to play Spear Dagger, because you need to abuse the fact that you can crit people. And with this spear just plays around crit like for a lot of time. It gives Dexterity Wisdom, which that's a crit stat, and pretty much the passive too triggers if you crit something. So I would say this spear is, I would say it's BIS for Spear Dagger, but for Greatsword Spear, not so really. It's only good for PvE. So because of that, I will put it on A. I don't want to put it on BIS because in my channel, I mainly talk about Greatsword Spear. But if you're playing Spear Dagger, definitely a BIS slot. But yeah. Next one, we have the Wind Shear Spear. I would say this is one of the worst spear in the game. It has a really good attack speed, but the stat is just ass for PvP. It gives you like species damage boost, which is for PvE. It also gives like a max health, which you don't really need. Cooldown speed, yeah, you kind of need cooldown speed, but it's not really the main stat that we're looking for GS Spear, or Spear in general. It gives a high amount of perception, but then that kind of counters the argument of it being a PvE spear, because in PvE you don't really want to have perception. So it's standing on a gray area. So I would say this spear is just bad in general. I wouldn't really recommend it in any like build at all. Now the passive too. The passive is kind of Spiral Slash Lance, heavy attack. You can use it one more time. It's not really. I wouldn't say it's good at all. Base damage is kind of low as well compared to the other spear. It's the only double-digit spear from what I remember as the base damage. It's the lowest one for sure. So because of that, I'll put it in D. Alright, next we have the Delos Noah and the Queen Belender. Let's go with the Queen Belender first, since the Queen Belender I have more info for the Queen Belender because I used it quite a lot. I would say Queen Belender is in a gray area between BIS and A. For Spear Dagger, you don't really want to use it. I mean, if you want to build hit and if you need the perception for it, sure, go for it. But I would say it's BIS for sure, but not as BIS as Pekilo, I would say. If that's the case, then should I just put it in A? I'll put it in BIS. It's BIS in a certain playstyle. If you're playing Dead from the Above a lot, if you just want to jump on people and just be a nuisance, and then it's BIS. Stat-wise, it has a high base damage, high max damage too. It's one of the better spear in terms of like raw stats. It gives you 9 perception, 10 fortitude, which all you need for spear. You need perception for PvP because you have Vanguard stat. You need fortitude because you need to build fortitude in order to synergize with the Vanguard stat. And you also have cooldown speed, which also helps. And it also gives you the Death from the Above cooldown. And the pull, I would say, it's kind of underrated, not gonna lie. People are kind of doom posting about it, but I would say it's kind of good. But in the state of the game compared to Pekilo, I would say Pekilo is still better. Like, it's just an easier playstyle to play with. And if you want to play Queen Belender, you need to invest a lot of like skill point on Death from the Above, and it's just not ideal in my opinion. So if you have an access to Pekilo Spear, I would really suggest building it. It's easier to play too. Pekilo Spear is way easier to play compared to Belender Spear. So yeah, and it just gives so much more tankiness, because Belender only shines from Death from the Above, while Pekilo can just shine on every single like scenario. Attack speed wise, Queen Belender is just one of the slowest archboss. I mean, one of the slowest spear weapon. So the only thing that makes it good was like it's just purely the stat. If I'm being 100% honest, then that's the case. Actually, I'll put it in A. I wouldn't put it in a BIS. It's BIS on a certain playstyle, but not overall. So I'll just put it in A then. It's a good stat and all that, but for an archboss weapon, it's kind of underwhelming. It loses to Pekilo, like in most cases. All right. Last but not least, Delos Noah. Easy BIS. Easy BIS. Let's take a look at the spear. It gives the highest base damage, highest max damage weapon in the game, period. Not even any other weapon has the higher base damage than Delos Noah. And the stats too gives the highest amount of stat of any other weapon in the game. 12 strengths, 8 perception, 10 fortitude. I would say if it gives something like wisdom, I would kind of hate it, but the fact that it gives you strength, perception, and fortitude is pretty much all the stat that you need as a GS spear. And the passive is kind of good too. Reason being, it's upgrading your Rising Slash into an AoE skill. You can pretty much push like a whole group of people towards like a wall, or like you can just push it in general. It deals a lot of damage, and yeah, I would say it's the BIS spear by far. Attack speed is the same as Belender. It's slower than Pekilo, but offensive wise, this is just good because it has attack speed 2 on it, so it helps. Belender doesn't have attack speed, but Delos Noah has it, so it's one of the most like BIS spear, I would say, in general. If you have the chance to get it, build around it, and you're gonna have so much fun with playing Rising Slash with the Delos Noah passive. If you're playing Spear Dagger, I would say Delos Noah is kind of good as well, because you can do more damage with Spear Dagger with Delos Noah because you have higher base stat. The only problem that I have with it, if you're playing Spear Dagger, is you don't have a high enough collision chance, because from what I heard, this spear, if somebody collision resists it in the middle of the pack, you're not gonna push any other people after one guy collision resists it. So if you want to push people, you need a really high collision chance in order to like crowd control people. So yeah, it's way better for GS spear for sure, in my opinion, because all the stats, you kind of need strength, you need fortitude. You don't need fortitude in Spear Dagger, so that's the reason why I would say it's not kind of good. Like, it's not that good for a Spear Dagger, but for GS Spear, for sure, it's one of the better. It's one of the. It's the best. It's the best spear in the game. That's about it. All right. So here's my tier list. Let me know on what your thought is on the tier list, and if you have any comments or any adjustment, let me know in the comment section down below. And if you guys wanna have more discussion about this kind of thing, I have joined Discord. There's a lot of like people who play Spear in the Discord that really want to theory crap and have a discussion about it. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.